Hello, everybody. This is a popular report. Uh, these repo- these reports show how bad it really is. The popular report, but yeah, this is something I had already said that they were doing to the numbers, and it's all a big lie. We all know it. But some people might want to say that the end is here or whatever. But I would agree that a lot of the stuff in the Bible is there, but till I know different and I see different, the rest of it and understand the rest of it, unless you know something I don't, let me know. But I think this is what I'm supposed to do is try to show the lies and stuff. So here we go.
Just came out, and everyone's saying that they're great. But when we start looking into the details of it, it's actually pretty horrific. Friends, honest work out there is going extinct. Not only are the jobs disappearing for people who are trying to work hard, but people are being forced out of full-time jobs into part-time jobs and forced into multi-part-time jobs to replace the main full-time jobs they've lost. We're going to look at some wages. We're going to look at the footnotes that are buried in this stupid report that the government is issuing yet again. They're lies stacked upon lies, and we're going to delve into that and show you exactly what they're doing and what they're not telling us to our faces. Let's jump into it, folks. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar, and I'm an accountant by trade, so we're going to delve into the numbers here. What you're being told up front, the big headline numbers out there sound so great. Sounds like everything is just wonderful, but you and I feel that it is not that great out there. You know, friends, you have people around you, and you know that things are not great. People are struggling. We're going to look at the numbers, folks. Please do hit that like button if you enjoy this type of content and if you hate the mainstream media out there. All right, so the jobs report for May just came out, and they reported that 340,000 new jobs in May. Wow, that sounds great. Sounds like President Biden's doing a fantastic job. Sounds like he's doing a better job with the economy than he is walking off platforms. But let's look at some of these things buried in there. Well, as with every other report, also comes out some adjustments to the previous numbers, because the number that you just heard there is, well, it's an estimate. It's their best guess. And of course, they're going to keep adjusting it as we go forward. So if you want to keep making the economy sound like it's growing, getting better and better and better, well, how do you do that? Well, you lie about the current numbers, and then you quietly correct the numbers from previous quarters, from previous months and everything like that. And that's exactly what they did again today, is they made some BS assessment of the numbers today, which are just probably bogus, and they're probably going to adjust them going when we get into August or September. They're going to come back and just adjust the numbers for May down. That's what they do. Not to be too cynical about it, we'll just be realistic about it, shall we? Well, they made a slight adjustment to the third quarter of last year. So October, November, December of last year, so the end of September all the way through the end of the year, they said that the wages. So not just how many people have jobs and all that kind of stuff like that, but how much people got paid, how much money workers took home. They said it went up by 4.9%. Well, they made a slight adjustment and said, well, actually it went down by 0.7%. Not from 4.9% down to 4.2%. No. From 4.9% positive to negative 0.7%. That's a really big number. I mean, we're talking about hundreds of millions of workers inside the United States all made over 5% less money than what they originally projected. Yeah. See, there's some little bits of problems in these reports. See, if let's say I had a full-time worker working for me, okay? They cut my grass or something like that. Full-time. And then I decide, well, I don't really need a full-time person that I'm paying health benefits to. Why don't I hire 2 part-timers? You know, maybe it goes from 40 hours a week worth of work to down to 2 10-hour-a-week jobs. Well, according to this report, we just added another job to the economy. How fantastic is that? But I'm paying the part-timers less than I was the full-timer, and I'm giving them less hours. So that doesn't sound good for the economy, does it? That shows that things are getting really weak. If you look at the numbers last year from March through the end of December, all the jobs added with this report, they added a whole bunch of jobs. Fantastic. But when you look at the numbers inside of what kind of jobs were added, you'll see that 886,000 part-time jobs were added to the economy. Now, is that really good? Because adding part-time jobs, okay. But we find full-time jobs in the economy dropped by 288,000. So you could almost kind of take that number and just say, well, we lost 288,000 full-time jobs, and we replaced them with, you know, basically 3 part-time jobs for every full-time job we lost. That sounds like what we're experiencing out there, isn't it? We're losing part-time jobs and replacing them with part-time jobs. But then this is another interesting statistic. 684,000 people were added to this list. People with multiple jobs, multiple part-time jobs. That's not good for the economy. Having to add over 500,000 people who can't make ends meet without having 2 jobs, friends, that's kind of where we are right now. We're taking away full-time jobs that actually pay a living wage, and we're replacing them with these part-time jobs that you can't really make a living wage with. And that's what we're seeing out there on whole as an economy. And it gets worse, folks. Hang in there. It gets worse than even that. Because we haven't even started talking about who is getting these jobs. If you're like, is it native-born Americans losing jobs and people coming across the border getting those jobs? Well, friends, you are one step ahead, because that's exactly what's happening. When we look at the numbers here, we see that Americans are worse off than they were financially before. American citizens are worse off than what they were 12 months ago. The Federal Reserve does a survey every year, and they call it the Survey on the Economic Well-Being of Households. And this is for 2022. And they surveyed, and how many people, how many households spent less in 2022 than they brought in income-wise. That number declined. So more people spending more than what they take in. And then those whose credit card debt increased in 2022. That number in the survey went up too. More people taking on more credit card debt. That's not good for the economy. I mean, it keeps the wheels spinning, but that means that average Americans are worse off. And then also a decline of those who said that their retirement funds were on track. When they did a survey and just asked a flat-out question, is your household better off financially or worse off financially than they were 12 months ago? The answer was 35% of Americans said worse off. Now, in 2021, the answer was 20% said it was worse off. Now, of course, with any kind of economy, you can have some people that are kind of like climbing the ladder and some people are kind of falling off the ladder. That's natural. You're going to have people going up, people going down. But honestly, you really hope that there are a lot more people moving ahead than falling behind. Because if you're working, you should be making money, right? Your retirement plan should be moving forward. Your savings should be increasing, right? So if after a year of work you've actually fallen further behind, that tells us bad things, right? 1 out of 3 in 2022 responded to the survey that they could not cover a $400 emergency. 50% said that they had 50% said that they did not have 3 months emergency savings, or roughly $2,000. They could not cover an emergency of $2,000. 50% of Americans. So let's get into those numbers with foreign workers versus current natural-born citizens. So since the cough, we've added 3.8 million jobs. Now, like I said, most of those jobs are part-time jobs that have been added. And we've actually lost full-time jobs. But since then, most of those jobs have gone to foreign-born workers. Now, that could be legal immigrants or illegal immigrants. But when we look at there are less native-born Americans working today than there were right before the cough. Like, it was already kind of moving into contraction a little bit, but when we look at just before the crash, the cratering, all the layoffs, there are less native-born Americans working today than there were then. Friends, aren't we supposed to have a higher number than what we did 3 years ago? But we don't. We have a lower number of Americans working than 3 years ago. Foreign-born workers, however, have been picking up quite a few jobs. They're now a record number of jobs. Over 30 million foreign-born workers inside the United States have jobs. Why don't Americans have enough work? Why can't Americans get jobs? Well, 30 million of them belong to people who aren't citizens. Those are the numbers, folks. Those are the numbers that mainstream media will not tell you. They won't give you that information. They don't want you to have this data on your hands. If you want to check out some of these articles and stuff like that, you can go to thepoplarreport.com. We got articles posting over there. It's like the Drudge Report, but not liberal. It's a fantastic news source that I'm working on personally, and I got a little bit of help helping me now, and we're hoping to get a little more help to make that the best and most relevant place to get news. I don't spam you with all sorts of nonsense. So if you want gossip, if you want political snark and stuff like that, there are plenty of sites there for you. We're just going with the hard news on this website. That's thepoplarreport.com. If you found this video to be useful or helpful, you might want to check out another video from this channel right here. I'll see you over there.
I told you, and I told when the Russian migrants coming in, that's what's going to happen. They're going to take jobs. And then certain people were saying, no, they ain't here for jobs. But every time they come in, they say work. Work is not cause for asylum. Plus, like I said, they're going to take away the jobs that the American people need. And there you go, because they'll work for dang near nothing. Because they come from a country that's worse than this one. But that's unfair and stuff like that. But why I haven't been on here, I wrenched my knee, baby and that, putting ice on it and stuff like that. Oh, what a pain. It's like pain you never experienced before. But, yeah, and the guy that did the MSU shootings uh, here was from New Jersey. I found out that they came on with the news. They were doing a little bit. They did a little bit on his background. He came from New Jersey. I guess he went. I don't know. Maybe he was going for a walk or something. I don't know why he did that. But according to somebody that evidently told the police that he had gotten into a some of the students were got into a fight with some of the students, and then he was seen on the campus going through the school. Um, Now, maybe it was because of what's going on with the uh, certain groups and stuff, and he was upset about what's going on, and just like a lot of those people of color are finding out that this government has, and they've gone from Democrat to Republican or to listening to the real truth and stuff like that. So I don't know the reasoning, but I would guess that maybe he was upset because of those students that got into it with him. I don't know the reasoning for it or not, but I think I do. I'm not going to speculate, but I think it's clear to me what happened. Uh, and yeah, it's just this whole thing is just you know, and then the new thing with McCarthy and Biden with the debt ceiling. He McCarthy gave in, and he shouldn't have gave in because now Biden and them have $4 trillion extra dollars to spend until after 2020. Wait until 2025. So, by what I understand, it's $4 trillion extra. So I disagree with what McCarthy did, and a lot of other people do too, because that's sellout. And I thought he would do a good job, but if he's gonna frickin' sit there and back down from getting what he needs to frickin' make this country the way, uh, to undo some of the damage, which he can't do, but to not give in to him because when the Dems and Schumer and that like the idea and praising it, it's a bad idea because usually they don't budge, they don't give unless it's something in it for them. Believe me, I know. I've been watching this stuff for a long time. I mean, and that's what it looks like to me because and Mitch McConnell too, and he's also one of those that irks me because of what he did when the former president was in there, and stuff like that. But I just thought I'd come on here and share this with you. I'm trying to uh, get a little bit more on this stuff, and like I said, this stuff I told you was good. This is what's going to happen right here. What he just said. This guy here is an accountant too, so he knows his numbers. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I just thought I'd share it with you because it's important. You need to know what's going on and the truth, and the only way to do that is to uh, you know show you stuff like this. I think this is what I'm supposed to do is kind of air the truth, get the truth out there, show people that this stuff is not good. They need to think when they pass or do their ballot and stuff. I would tell you I am not voting for Ron DeSantis because of what I heard about him, and I don't think he can deal with it. I think he would cave. Now, Trump, or the former president, was in there, and that's why they don't want him in there, because he was in there. He knows. So, yeah, that's my take on everything. And I want to thank you for watching, and take care of yourself. Be blessed. And fear not, because uh, there's no point in fearing. I mean, it doesn't get you anywhere, but just upsets you and raises your anxiety and stuff. Just keep out of the stress and stuff. It's hard, but it's the only way you're going to do it. But God bless everyone. Jesus loves you, and take care of yourselves. And I will see you later. Peace and love. Thanks.